Hello everyone, this is my audience. Good afternoon everyone, and thank you for attending my speech today. Today I will be discussing women in the United States military. My name is Luis Santiago, and that's the topic I'll be discussing with my audience. Our President, Barack Obama, stated in USA Today article, "Obama backs women in combat." This milestone reflects the courageous and patriotic service of women throughout more than 2 centuries of American history, and the indispensable roles that women play in today's military. Many have made the ultimate sacrifice, including more than 150 women who have given their lives in Iraq and Afghanistan. Patriots whose sacrifice shows that valor knows no gender. I believe the President couldn't have stated this any clearer. Women play and have played a crucial role in our nation's military, helping our country to have the greatest military in the world. The United States is the greatest nation in the world, a nation that has a great military history, which includes women. A history throughout history, our nation's military women have made vast contributions both on and off the combat field. Women had to endure large hardships and discriminations while trying to protect our great nation. Today, I will discuss with you the history of women in our nation's military, the difficulties these women encountered while serving in the United States military, and I will also discuss our current roles of women in the United States military. History. During the Revolutionary War, women would disguise themselves as males, and they would enlist into the U.S. military as aliases. Deborah Sampson Gannett from Plymouth, Massachusetts, was one of the very first women soldiers. In 1782, she enlisted under the name of her deceased brother. As stated by Jeannie Wood in her online article, A History of Women in the U.S. Military, she served 17 months. Sampson served in the Continental Army. While serving in the Continental Army, Sampson was wounded twice. Next, most women worked during World War I in factories, trying to help make supplies for people who were currently in combat. Women worked in office, transportation, and other jobs vacated by the men who were off at war. In World War II, a total of 350,000 women served in the United States military, 60,000 of them which were Army nurses, 14,000 which were Navy nurses, also known as WAIFs. Although our women didn't serve on the front line, 67 of our women were captured in Japan and were held by Japan as prisoners of war, 14 of which were also captured from the Navy. They were held for a period of up to 3 years. In 1942, the Army created the WAAC, a women's auxiliary. These women worked overseas in North Africa. 1 year later, the WAAC became the WAC, the Women's Army Corps, which held over 150,000 women who served throughout the rest of the World War II. Now I will discuss some of the hardships that women had to overcome while serving in our nation's military. I truly believe women were and still are looked down upon. They are looked at as the weaker gender. Men discriminate against women as the lesser half, perhaps even the weaker half. This type of discrimination did not only occur in the lower levels of our military, but it occurred all the way up through our Pentagon. Discrimination such as singling out women by having them separate names for their corps. Women also dealt with the hardship of being prisoners of war. Women were held for a period of up to 3 years by the Japanese during World War I and World War II. Lastly, I will discuss the role of women in the United States military today. Women have proven time and time again that they are up for the challenge of our military today. Women today stand united at the forefront of technology. Women have begun to take more prominent roles in contemporary armed forces. As stated by The Guardian website titled "A Women in Combat," the U.S. military officials lifted a ban on female soldiers. The U.S. military officials lifted a ban on female soldiers serving in combat roles. Women are now pilots, lawyers, engineers, gunner's mates, musicians, and function at the highest level, providing an abundance of overly qualified women to take our nation's military to the next level, solidifying the U.S. military as the greatest fighting force in the world. Even though in the past, women have been women have been ridiculed for trying to protect our country, now women maintain our nation's military would not be possible without the great sacrifices of our women. Women have been an excellent addition to our nation's military. Today, you've learned how women have contributed to the U.S. military. You've also learned what women have had to endure to achieve their goals of fighting for our country, along with their current roles in our nation's military. Thank you very much.